To create, be the change you wish to see in the world. Edit channel, Elden Ring, lore and vibes. What's good? Yo, check out the breakfast. Ah, so good. So very good. So good, I like. Everybody's here? We're on time, man. I had a long intro. That's fair. These are hitting. Hip hop and put in work. Alright, let's see what people are doing. Check out the arena. Elden Ring. I should have read that probably. What is this? Alright, let's see what he's doing.
Thank you. Okay. Let's go back. Now we'll go fight the other guy.
And more syrup.
What's my level? I don't know. I'm probably like 40 or something like that. Yeah, somewhere around there. Okay.
We go. We got some water, we got syrup. Vibes are up. Alright, let's see what's good with this. Let's see how cracked the Asmongold is. A little bit of fireball action. So is he a faith character now? Interesting. He's not bad. He's actually pretty good.
Gotcha, bitch.
Why is he using the winged scythe?
All right. If only they could all be that easy. Oh, fuck you.
Nice.
Okay.
Wait, he's kind of cracked. Is Asmongold good at Elden
Sure,
Ring?
that's about it. Oh, let's go get that. So it does get better? No, that shit's easy. Yeah, those guys are no problem.
Looking for
Like,
someone
I
to
know how to
raid.
beat them. And the problem that I generally have is like being able to like not make distance.
Won't make it in time for
Because if you
DSL,
can't
but
make
that's
distance
okay.
as a
I'm having
caster,
fun.
and your cast times are really long,
What Shroud's build?
Protect the skin.
Alright, we're gonna add. You get Twitch Prime. Bro, this song is so relaxing. What the fuck? Bro, where is everybody? Is he playing mouse and keyboard? What a Chad. Wait, how do I, there we go. Cool. Alright, let's see what's good at Shroud. See how cracked he is.
The portal. Oh yeah, let's go to the portal. Yeah. Yeah. Game definitely does feel better on borderless instead of full screen. I don't know why. Is DX12 game? Something wrong with full screen optimizations maybe? Renala's like the second easiest boss fight. What's the easiest, do you think? That Godric guy? Maybe? No, no way.
Gideon? Yeah.
Dude, on this playthrough, I killed that Godric boss or whatever. Is it Godric? I think his name. I think that's his name. I killed him. I killed him twice. The first time we traded, and there wasn't enough time, so I lost. And then the second time, I killed him again. Wait, do I get a thing? A tier?
Nope.
You don't need absolution.
What the hell? Shroud is literally Iron Man.
Turtle. With a hat.
The Pope. Be wary of dog.
But who can blame you?
True.
The shattering has
Isn't
caused
that
us,
steep?
all of us, to lose sight of something very dear. It is
By dog butthole? Dude, that's actually such a good
that
meme.
the great houses of the Erd Tree and the Moon were joined by the
Everyone just spamming dog.
between red-haired Radagon and Renala of the full moon. And so our church holds in view
Didn't I just kill all those people?
monuments of both houses, the Erd Tree of the capital and the Academy of Rea Lucaria.
Okay. Melania's easy. I'm sure it's easy for someone who's probably done it before.
Oh, was there something
Yo!
to show yourself around?
Lethal with the 4. Thank you so much. What's good? How we doing? How's life? Wait, can you guys hear me? I changed my noise gate. I think it's just me and you though. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, what's up, Nick? What's good, guys? We're on time. I spent... You guys see our new YouTube video? Hold up, I should post it, actually. Shroud's kind of cracked at like every game he plays. Elden Ring the day before the DLC. I just don't know what people are doing. Like, are they just playing to practice? Cause like Doc's playing too. I think they're just kind of playing just because the game's coming out tomorrow. I don't think anyone's playing. Not too bad over here, just chilling, looking forward to the War Within. Me too. I'm excited. I hope they fix a lot of things. I hope they fix a lot. Just for the hype, probably. That makes sense. Bro, this was a banger video. This was literally, you guys want to watch my YouTube video? This is literally one of the best intros I've ever made for a YouTube video ever. I'm going to show you guys. I'm proud of it. Look at this. 3-hour vid. Fan service is crazy here. Oh, it's so quiet. It was so much louder in the video I made.
Tarnished of no renown, and become the Elden.
I made that. Dude, why is it so quiet? You guys can't hear shit. Can you guys, is it quiet when you guys play this video? Hold up. Can you guys tell me when you watch this? Is it quiet? Oh my god, I'm so sad. I spent literally like 5 hours editing this. That's so sad. I played around a bit on Mage. It feels weird, but better. What did they, like on PvE or PvP? Wait, guys, I fucked up. I spent so long on this video, it doesn't even fucking have audio, bro. Like, listen to this. Hold up. Dude, that's fucked, because I think I deleted the video project. No, I'm actually so sad right now. I spent 10 hours streaming, 3 hours editing, just for this to not work. Oh wait, I still have the thing. Okay, no, I didn't delete this. Wait, this is actually huge. What is this? Why is this red? How do I fix this? Anyone know how to edit? In the chat? Yeah, it sounds like you're whispering. I don't know why that is though. Okay, hold up. Let's do this. Audio. I'm gonna turn everything up. Okay, we're gonna go up.
In search of the Elden Ring.
Okay.
And become the Elden Lord.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix the audio on that. I don't know how to do that. Because look at, like, my computer, this was 10 hours of footage, okay? 10 hours of footage. And it's just quiet. Like what happened to this? All my voiceovers are gone. That's fucked. Hold up. You know what? I think I can fix this. All I have to do is go to my recycling bin. Recycling bin. Okay. All right. Okay, restore. Restore. I have all of my stuff restored now. Like, it shouldn't be fucked up. How do I refresh? Dude, I'm so... Also, your vid sounds better on YouTube. So wait, it does sound good to you guys? Like, is it quiet on the video itself? I spent so long on that video and it's like not even... you can't even hear it. It's inaudible. What the fuck? It sounds normal on YouTube. Dude, I just don't get it, man. Like, cause look at the audio channels. Like, I had them like normalized so that it sounded good, but maybe my audio settings are just fucked up. But like in the project itself.
In search of the Elden Ring.
Oh, you know what happened? This got moved. What the fuck? Like, this was supposed to be a cinematic with her saying like send word far and wide. I don't know, bro. Maybe we just leave it and we fix it on the next one. It's okay. It's all good. You know what? We're deleting it. Cause here's my thing. If you guys are saying it's good, I trust you. Okay. I spent a lot of time on it. I learned with YouTube, if you fixate on videos or if you hyper fixate, you know, you're going to become obsessive and you're not going to just let things be. You know what I mean? And I don't want to become that kind of person. Like, you become very insecure and very hypercritical of yourself. So it's just kind of like whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Type shit. I don't know. But you guys are saying it sounds normal, so that's good. I fucked it up a little bit. I gotta figure out a better editing workflow. I think I don't make my intros till the very end. I think I should edit the bulk footage and then from there. But if you guys could leave a comment, like, and subscribe. I'm gonna post this. Alright, cool. Who's excited for the DLC? Pin this message. Okay, well, let me pin my own message. Cool. Who is this? Aztec Cross. I don't know who this is.
I am. Okay, okay. I'll TP back in just a second. Let me get here.
Hold up. He's got to have a fat YouTube. Yeah.
How much different
Almost 1 million on YouTube.
was Destiny 1 from Destiny 2? Now, I want to take you down memory lane real quick because I know we got some new light players, but if you're like me, it's just been a while, right?
Dude, I think that it's just like, I want to make good YouTube content. My intros are just cheeks, though. They're just straight cheeks. Who are some of your guys' favorite YouTubers? I need some inspiration. This guy's huge. Carnage has been on Twitch forever, bro. I need to finish my waffles too. Who's your favorite YouTuber, guys? Come on, hit me. I'm gonna wash my plate off. When I come back, hit me, boys. All right, let's see. I watched some of Syndicate's vlogs and food and traveler. Don't really watch gaming YouTubers? Really? Interesting. I like how I just have log cabin syrup here. We're just gonna keep that right there. It's gonna be a trademark. Okay. Woo! I just got the biggest chills at my back. It blows my mind how big Asmongold is. Like, I think that's insane. It's crazy. Like, Lil Aggie is by far of these players, he is by far the best Elden Ring player here. By a mile. Right? But it's like there's these personalities that just do so well. Actually, I'm very curious. Yeah, Carnage. This guy is an OG. He's gaming right now.
Oh. Oh, not dead. Whoops. There we go.
Okay, he just summoned the boys. You watch Syndicate, though? I haven't heard that name in a while. Let's pull up Syndicate. Oh, and we're going to get into some lore. I'm really excited about the lore. This is so funny, bro. Tom Syndicates. I actually have no idea who this is. Oh wait, this was Syndicate, like the Twitch streamer at one point. He used to be a streamer, no? Right? Yeah, why did he stop streaming on Twitch? Wasn't he like one of the biggest?
Good morning, world. and good morning, wherever the heck this is. Whoa! Defenders assemble! And myself needs to
Oh,
now
he's just
assemble
snips
because
are
it is
out.
a new dawn, it's a new day. I've woken up in a completely different random location that is a long way from home, and it is indeed the day of going
Dude, my
meeting up
hair
with
itches
the
in my
Sidemen
hat.
for
I'm taking
a
them
bit of a
out.
video
I'm taking the
shoot.
curls
So no
out.
time like the present. Let's do this. Not a bad shower, you know. And not the worst night's sleep either. This is actually happening right now. I am stretching. Never have I woken up and at 8:54 in the morning started doing some leg stretches. But needs must. Towels are in the bath. Bags are packed. Time to say sayonara to the travel lodge. Let's get at it. I think that's what
I just uploaded the dumbest short ever. I don't know. I feel like I like understand how some people can enjoy this, you know, but like I don't think this is my kind of content.
Good morning. Good morning, little weed. Hello there, little star. Where are you going with that thing? Now
That is
you
adorable.
stay in baby jail, you little rascal. Because I'm getting up, having my breakfast, and starting my... What? What are you doing down here? Are you having your porridge as well? Oh, lovely. Well, I've had mine. And I'm now out of here. To which I can officially say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome your faces to a new dawn and a new day, where my name is Tom and I film every single weekday of my life.
Wait,
Put it
he's
on the
just
internet.
showing the license plates? That's kind of crazy.
Get in the Defender. And get down to the gym. Hi, house over. Away! 1 entire hour of being told what to do. Incoming.
Oh. Okay. I don't know. That's something. I don't think it's bad. I think it's like, I think that you can only appreciate a vlog if you know the person or have seen them evolve. You know what I mean? Otherwise, the place that they are or what they're doing has to be entertaining. That's my opinion on vlogs. You know what I mean? Like if you do a vlog with like a lot of personalities that people know, that's entertaining. Or if you do a vlog and they're in a really cool place that you've never seen before, that's entertaining. You know what I mean? Yeah, but thank you so much, Gleeful, for this resub, dude. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Should probably stop calling people dudes. You never know what people's gender are. You know? Might be. Look up Strictly Dumpling. Okay. Strictly Dumpling? What the fuck is this?
Singapore, a city where tradition meets innovation, where the skyline tells tales of progress.
Singapore
and the
is
streets
actually
are
so
alive with
advanced. I have a
diverse
buddy who
flavors.
lives there and
Here in the
everyone's
hawker
just
centers
jacked.
and street stalls, the true essence of Singapore's food culture thrives, offering unpretentious and affordable eats. From the spicy kick of
Like, this
laksa
looks
to the
super
crispy
cool to
delight
me.
of Prada and the smoky charm of satay. Each dish reflects the city's rich heritage and culinary creativity. So in this video, join me as we explore the top 50 cheap eats in Singapore.
Good morning. This is Newton Food Center, one of the most popular hawker centers.
So
in
you're a big
all Singapore.
you're a
Pretty
big
centrally
vlog guy. See,
located
like
right
for
at-
me, immediately what I said though, I find this entertaining, not because I find the guy himself very interesting. Like it's what's drawing or catching my attention that makes me want to keep watching is I'm fascinated about Singapore and the food. I like food. You know what I mean? Like those are the two things that are like sticking out to me.
Now it's about 7 a.m. Let's grab some breakfast.
Okay, so dude, my noise gate is like perfect right now, by the way.
Just realized, haven't really had a nasi lemak since coming to Singapore. And this is definitely one of my favorite things to eat in this country. Samba.
I watch a lot of
crispy,
vlogs of
tiny
people in
anchovies,
Japan.
Perfectly runny, gooey egg, fried chicken over fragrant rice. I think the first time I had this dish, my mind almost exploded. This place does this so well here. Just the rice itself is so aromatic and coconutty. I'm already getting a little crunch from the crispy anchovies. The sambal is really the heart and soul of this dish. Savory, spicy with an umami punch. This definitely just came out of the fryer too. Crispy skin, nice and juicy. Sambal on there as well. On the eggs too. This is one of my favorite dishes. There's just so many different flavors.
See, like, I don't know why you cut out the music here. I feel like this is where it loses me because it's like, okay, it's food. You know what I mean? But like the cinematic shots, like the high visual stimulation, like a lot of like switching to other stuff, like that's going to get anyone's attention. You know what I mean? What else? Dude, I wanted to show you guys this. I don't know why I uploaded this. This was so stupid. Like, I kind of want to delete my shorts that don't do well. You know? What is your guys' initial reaction to this? I feel like this only makes sense if you were here last night. Yo. What's up, YouTube? For those of you who don't know me, hey, you guys know this guy? BalancePK, and I just completed a 11-hour challenge. Never delete, remember, yeah, you're right. Using only the great sword. I had about 92 deaths on the run, and 50 of them were from Malekith. So, that being said, Malekith, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you when I get these DLC weapons. I will be getting the martial arts weapon class and folding your shit 100 times. I think that's great. I don't know, but I've been like trying to just be more me, and I think that it's like a journey, you know. I don't know. I don't think you can like make sense of it, dude. There's just so many women on my shorts. It's crazy. I fucking quit. Kick is falling apart. Yeah, that makes sense. Standing on business. $30-year-old millionaire. That's crazy. To be a millionaire and this is your thumbnail. Like, I could make this. I could make a better one. I'm just kidding. Thumbnails are really hard because like when you try and make a thumbnail, like you have to have a really high like a really high quality camera, you know, like you just have to. I love Shane Gillis. This is my dude. I don't know. I kind of want to react to some lore. Is anyone down to react to some lore? I want to know all of the lore with Elden Ring because it's very complex. So what most games do with their lore, right, is they answer questions and or like have a storyline that you follow more so. But with Elden Ring, if you guys look at items, each item has like a lore to it. Here, I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about. Do it. What's up, Cables? Do it. We finished the challenge, guys. Go check out the video if you didn't see it. 11-hour stream. Guys, I don't, no one was here for it, okay? But that is by far one of the hardest things I've ever done on stream. 11-hour or 10-hour stream, or it was like 11-hour stream, 9 hours of just straight Elden Ring, and we beat the game. It was so fucking exhausting. And I like didn't eat all stream because I was just trying to grind that shit out. Like I was locked in. Here, I want to show you guys what I'm talking about. I beat the game at 9 hours and 41 seconds, technically. It's hard for me to know which character is which, honestly. I know which one my main is, though. Here, I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about, though, real quick. Oh, I gotta get this death counter off my screen. That was miserable. Okay, can you guys see? Cool. So look, if you go into your inventory and you hover over like any spell, how do you do this? I don't know how to do this actually. Sort, simple view. Oh, here you go. So if you press X, so look, you if you hover over like any of the incantations, look, incantation of 2 fingers faithful, increased magic damage negation. Follow the path that has been set for you, and you will make enemies of all others. The monks, the sorcerers, the ancient dragons, the knight, the signs of gold. Heed me, the lands between offers no welcome to the tarnish. So basically, each spell, Gideon gained true knowledge. Like, all of the lore is inside of the items of this game. Black Flame is weighty after dealing damage. Some of it doesn't, like, really do things. Like, this is Moog's. Moog is the Lord of Blood. But like if you look at like items like Reduvia, jagged daggers, unique skill / this dagger rips the flesh of enemies. So this one doesn't really add to anything. This one does. Here you go. Here's a good one. Storied sword of House of Marius, the family of executioners who presided over the shaded castle. One of the legendary armaments. How do you say that? Armaments. Mostly items and some dialogues. But yeah, basically each item has like lore. It's pretty interesting. I think it's really cool. When Moog, the Lord of Blood, first felt Okina's sword and madness upon his flesh, he had a proposal to offer Okina the life of a demon whose thirst would never go unsated. That's Rivers of Blood. Like, that's sick. Like, this is so cool, bro. I don't know, dude. I think that's so badass. But that's just me. Oy vey. Okay. Let's react to some lore. Anyone have any good videos we can watch? The way they do the lore is so epic. Dude, yeah. We gotta go Elden Ring lore. This guy kills it, bro. Okay, the Lord. I like watch this off stream. Like I'll be chilling. I watch this guy and I watch Gino Machino. So I played 3 hours of Elden Ring's DLC. The Elden Ring's new story trailer is hiding something. Armored lore. Interesting. Vatja vida. Is that Italian? It sounds Vada vida. You know what I mean? Sounds a little Italian, maybe. I don't know. See, his lore videos do really well, but he actually tried to make a build video as well. That's interesting. Prepare to cry. Did we watch this on stream? I don't know. We're gonna watch it again. Okay, we're gonna go to popular. We're gonna watch all of the good stuff, okay? Bloodborne, lore of the bosses, the lore, Elden Ring lore explained. I do remember this one, but we can watch it again. We'll watch these in chronological order. Elden Ring's demigods explained. We're gonna watch all the. Am I missing any? Prepare to cry. An Elden Ring movie, The Lord of Frenzied Flame. What else? The Lore of Melania. We're 1,000% watching that. 1,000%. Who is Mikola? Mikola is the main person in all of Elden Ring, so I think we should watch that. A magical playthrough of Elden Ring. It's awesome. Wait, what the heck? I want to see this.
So welcome to the early access preview of Elden Ring. This area is Limgrave, or the north part of it anyway. This part has been sectioned off for the network test.
Yeah, look at the health and the mana, and look at how different it looks.
Still absolutely massive, and I'm going to show you my favorite route through this place, but yours will be different.
Oh yes. Tarnished, are we? Come to the lands between.
So does he do no editing here?
Yeah, so if you think you... Luckily, there's a ruined church near...
Crafting kit.
So he just voices
That's
over
how you craft
this
most
whole
of the
thing.
items that will be familiar to you from Dark Souls, like fire.
I don't know. I have to try all kinds of YouTube
Mikola
content because it's
is
really hard. We're going to
Mikola is
pause all these and start them over, and then we're going to watch them in order.
The demigods.
The demigods. Okay. We have Mikola, Prepare to Cry, Dark Souls 3. So much lore pre-release of Elden Ring. Dude, holy shit. I think we're chilling, guys. Bro, he's been popping off for so long. This guy's cracked. A powerful start to Elden Ring, Weeping Peninsula. This guy is actually nutty. His vids are so good, dude, yeah. As I'm saying, making good quality. I think for me, I'll be honest. I think the thing with streaming versus YouTube is like YouTube's really fun and rewarding because it's like I feel like I'm making progress with YouTube. Streaming, it feels like hit or miss. You know, like sometimes you have really good streams, sometimes you have really bad streams, and I don't really it's not like you can really work it out. There's no like science to it, you know what I mean? Like it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, you work hard, like you will oh, this one looks good. We're gonna do these two as well. It's not one of those things where it's like, oh, you watch this, you know, you're going to or if you like when you stream, like last night, 10-hour stream, full playthrough of the game. My first ever challenge run. No food. I literally ate like a pickle and a spoon of peanut butter and then a protein shake. That is all because I wanted to just grind. Yeah, we were grinding. And there was only like 2 viewers and it was cool. Like we made new friends, you know? But it's just like, it's crazy how it's like, I literally was grinding. Bro, make sure you eat during the next one. Dude, I know. We have the 24-hour stream tomorrow. And it's like, my thing is, it's like, I don't know. I don't want to like be a doomer or negative, you know, but it's definitely like, yo, this is like a little bit discouraging when we like we're grinding, you know what I mean? And then nobody shows up. That's like sad. That is sad. I feel like that is kind of sad. But it was like for me, my mentality with that now and with streaming, and because I know I love it and I want to do this and I want to just like for me, it's like, oh, like I think what YouTube's allowed me to do is like, I was like, oh, like last night, okay? Like imagine you're doing a 10-hour challenge, no food, headache, dizzy, getting fucked by Malakath. Like you're just getting fucked. You're in Elden Ring, okay? Way under leveled. You haven't practiced these boss fights, you know? Like this is your first ever attempt at a challenge run, okay? And they're just like, it's just like you and one guy. That's it. And for me, in my mind, I was like, it could be no one. So I was like, I was just vibing with that one guy in chat. Me and him. It was me and him versus the challenge. And like without him, dude, I would have failed. I would have given up. I would have been like, no one cares about this. Like, but then it's like, boom, that's a whole 10-hour stream just gone to waste. So it's like, that's crazy. How much of an impact just one person has. It's crazy. It's actually nutty. But then too, like also like it gave me like the initiative, like what YouTube gives me, right? Is where it's like, hey, like even though people aren't watching and no one like cares to like hang out or lurk, like I can still make a good YouTube video out of this. And so that's given me like an outlet where it's like, cool, this is not a waste of time, essentially. Because like for me, right, like we've cut down streaming hours just because like I would like us to grow our viewership, and that's what's recommended. But Ludwig's tweeted that at me, and he's huge. He's a titan on this platform, you know? And it's like hours of prep are more important. Of like, you want to be doing just cool shit on stream. What's up, Mom? Like you really just want to be doing like really cool shit on stream. And like I try so hard to do that. But it's like I don't know how to like make people excited about things. Like it's really hard. You can't like, it's like I'm not a big creator, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh guys, we're going live tomorrow. Like no, like I'm excited because we hit fucking 100 subs. That's insane, okay? Bro, that is crazy to me. I'm so fucking thankful for that. Like we hit 100 subs. But not only did we hit 100 subs, bro, we're at, look at this. Look at this. Let me go full cam. We're at 243 subs. What the fuck? That's so sick. This is our total sub count right now. That's fucking dope. Like that's actually so fucking cool. It's not a waste of your time. I know. It just, for me, it's like I want to create a community and it's hard. It's just hard. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Like, I think it's good. Like, I like when I have like these sessions on stream, or sessions, therapy sessions. No, I like when I can talk about like real shit. Like, I think like for me, it's like clearly I'm like very passionate about this, you know? And I've like priceless memories from streaming, you know what I mean? But it's like for me, for my next step, it's like streaming has always been about fun. Streaming has always been just a hobby. Streaming has always just brought me joy. I've done it for 9 years, off and on. 9 fucking years. That's longer than so many fucking people on here. Like that's a long time. That's crazy. Like I don't know when my first stream ever was, but like I've had a Twitch account for a long time, and like I've streamed. I know for a fact I was streaming in 2015. Yeah, I did stream in 20. That was the year after I graduated high school. I was 1,000% streaming. It shows your commitment. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm clearly committed, but like for me, right? That's what's crazy about streaming is it's so much more complex. It's so much harder than that. You can't just work hard at streaming and then just get good at it. It's like it's crazy. Because it's like, I can't even sit here and be like, oh, here's the equation to success. Because I have no fucking idea what it is. I have no idea. I literally have no idea. I feel like day one, I know like little things, but getting like chipping away, there's never been a, like, we have not broken 10 average viewers for like a month. Okay. There are people streaming for like 1,000 people. More than that, like 20, like Asmongold, 24,000. And I understand comparisons to Thief of the Joe, and I'm not like, this isn't like one of those rants where I'm just like being negative. I'm like saying that is so amazing. Like if that is insane. That's crazy. I remember your damn cinnamon challenge. Oh my God. That was nuts. But it's like, what I'm trying to say, right, is that like, I'm very happy. This is the most successful we have ever been streaming. 243 subs. Our average viewership's at almost around like 5. That's like our average viewership. So that's the highest average viewership and highest sub count. Okay. Extremely thankful. I'm not trying to discredit that. I am so happy, and I don't even feel, you know what I mean? Like I don't have like imposter syndrome about it, because I know like we've worked hard, but it's like, for me, I understand that nothing is just given out. It's like nothing is like a handout. You know what I mean? But like for me, like to put in perspective, right? I've worked 9 years off and on this thing, you know? And you know, like people are averaging 1,000 viewers. That's cool as fuck. I don't know how to, like, I would like to get there. Is that fucked up to say? Is that like crazy or narcissistic to say that I would like to push our viewership up? Is that like a wild thing to like want that? So, but what I'm saying is like, I don't know how that's possible. I genuinely, for the amount of good streams and effort like we've put in, like we've been top 50 in North America in World of Warcraft. We speedran Elden Ring. We've been diamond in Apex. Like we've been diamond in a lot of games, honestly. So it's like we play games at like a high level, and on top of that, I do all the editing in-house. So it's like, for me, the expenses, right? It's like we don't pay for editing. We don't pay for literally anything. I make all my own graphics. I edit all my own videos. I design all the panels. I set up all of the Discord. Afro and Nick helped me yesterday with setting up some bots, but like that's not easy to set up. Like a whole Discord community is really hard to manage, and like set it up where it's like a place or like a safe haven for people to like hang out. And it is that now. It is that. People don't utilize it. I don't really know how to like get them to mingle or interact with each other, but it's definitely there. And I think that everything, like if we were creating our own like vision or storyboard or like lore, everything centers around the stream. Okay. So it's like, for me, it's like order of importance, like what's more important to me, Discord community where people can hang out and make friends, or streaming. As far as importance goes, in my mind and in pure enjoyment, those are completely equal. They're literally the same. I'm just as passionate about streaming as I am the Discord community, because Discord is a place where people can hang out and make friends. Now, that doesn't happen as much as I'd like it to, and I don't know how to fix that. I literally have no ideas. But I'm open to suggestions. I'm always open to feedback. But I feel like with streaming, I don't get a ton of feedback. You know what I mean? So it's like when you don't get a lot of feedback, it's really hard to grow or like fix, per se. You know what I mean? Or like evolve. And like that's what I want is I want to evolve and get to a bigger, you know, like size. Like I want us to grow. That's a goal. But it's like I don't know. I don't know if I'm not saying I don't know if it's possible because it's like we're doing it. I just don't know what that looks like. You know what I mean? Like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. It's just me, a few people that believe in me, and this like blind faith. That's it. That's we're going on a complete whim here. Also, I know I'm wearing my hat like an actual dumbass, but fuck it. It's making my hair itch. I don't know. I need to talk about that because last night was really hard. Last night was so much hard work and effort. Like, dude, 10 hours, like mentally and physically to wake up, stream 10 hours. Okay. Like put yourself in this like scenario. Wake up, stream 10 hours, edit for 5. You're editing 10 hours of footage and cutting that down to be like watchable. And you have to make the thumbnail. That's a lot. That's a fuck ton. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know why I want to talk about this right now. I just find it curious. Like for me, I think it's important to like get it out because it's like it lets me know, like, because it's like, bro, it'd be like one thing, right? If I like imagine you're watching a show and that show went live at a random time every day, right? Or it was like a broadcast, okay? And that broadcast wasn't consistent. But it's like we are so consistent. It's crazy. Like look at my Twitch schedule. Let me see if this actually shows it. Like I will let everyone that like does support me pick a time frame, and then I will stick to that time frame, and then people will not show up. That's where I get a little confused. This is so funny. Look at this graph. Each day, so it's like we're supposed to go live around 4 and we stream for 5 hours, but the days I stream a little bit later, it's because I'm planning on streaming a lot longer. I don't know. I think it's I don't know. Am I being crazy? Am I making any sense to anybody right now? Or am I just yapping right now? What's up, Marley Mar? Like, it's like if I'm making sense. It's just like for me, it's just like, dude, I don't know. Like, I'll show this. I don't care. I shouldn't get banned. I hope I don't get banned. Okay. I want to show you guys like my average viewership. Okay, I'll just read it out loud because I'm not allowed to show my analytics. I'll get banned. Okay. Okay. So we start. Okay, so listen to this and tell me this analytic isn't fucking insane. We started out in January. Okay. Guess my average viewership. Guess what it would be. This is like our first month back streaming. Just throw a number out there. Anybody. Everybody can participate. All right. Well, I'll just tell you guys. So we started out in January, 3.9 viewers. That was our average. 174 hours streamed. Okay. A month passes. Our average viewership increases. The amount of hours we stream decreases. Okay. We stream 137 hours. Our average viewership is 4.6. So it increased by 0.7. Okay. Then March happens, okay? March, we pop off. We're fucking doing the thing. Okay. We went from 4.6 viewers to 7.1. Okay. That was a really good month for us. 7.1 average viewers. Okay. 151 hours streamed. And then we went into a rut. This was a hard month. I had to go to a bachelor party. And we weren't as consistent. Average viewership cut in half at 4.0. Hours streamed at 103. We start making a comeback. It's now May to June. It's this month. We're back up to 4.5 at 130 hours streamed. That's crazy. But it's like, that's what I'm saying is like, people are hitting 1,000, right? We can't even hit 10. Like, it's hard. Like, it's a really hard thing to do. And I have no idea. I have no idea how to do it. I genuinely, like, if you're like, hey, like, like that's what I'm saying. It's like imagine you want to do something, but there's literally no blueprint on how to do it. Literally zero. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Like, I wish I had like a mentor or someone I could like confide in about this stuff, or like someone who also makes content and has like similar goals or aspirations. But it's like every sizable, any creator that is bigger than me, I try to reach out to, I get left on red. It's weird. Oh, yeah. All right, we're gonna just watch some lore because I'm just yapping. I feel like all of these videos are clickbait as fuck. Okay, this guy posts a video. It says easy way to grow on Twitch. I want to look at his Twitch. Let's see. Not bad, actually. All right. Well, shit, man. I don't know. There's some crazy ass videos on that. That's wild. Okay, I'm gonna just watch the lore because everyone's not responding, so fuck it.
Used to offer up sacrifices, fashioned in the image of the ancient serpent. the god of
what order do I want to watch these in? An Elden Ring movie. I kind of want to watch this later because this is going to be really good. An Elden Ring movie, A War Within. Hat over headphones. Yeah, bro. I'm on a fuck it vibe today. Today is just a chill stream. Like, this is me unhinged. Like, we streamed 10 like, well, how long did our stream say I was live for? Let's see. Dude, this fucking bracket is pissing me off. Let's see. Yeah, 11-hour stream. That's fucking insane. 11-hour stream yesterday. And we're doing a 24-hour stream tomorrow. And I'm not even hangry anymore. I'm just a little tired. And it's just like, I don't know. I'm grinding, man. Maybe, I don't know. It's just like, I think the thing about streaming that frustrates me is that when you work hard, right, or you want to do like these big concepts or ideas, it feels like you just get let down. I think that's where my frustration stems from. You know what I mean? I think it stems from me wanting to put a lot of effort into things. I don't know. I don't know. I should probably stop yapping. We're scaring away all of our viewers. What's up, Bader? Alright, we're just gonna react to some lore and I'll just shut up. We're just gonna watch them in order. Fuck
Mount
it.
Gelmir is a serpent, and it has been there for a long time. Long before the age of the Erd Tree, in an era we know little about, there was an ancient, immortal serpent deity on Mount Gelmir, and a forgotten religion that venerated it. We learn this from the serpent god's curved sword, which was a tool used to offer up sacrifices, fashioned in the image of the ancient serpent deity. The serpent takes. The serpent is greed. It always has been, ever since Dark Souls, where the serpent was a symbol of avarice. And so, in the ancient age of Elden Ring, the serpent consumed its sacrifices and grew vast. But there were those who would not stand for it. They brandished the Serpent Hunter, a weapon that is both greatsword and spear, thought to have been used to hunt an immortal great serpent in the distant past. It manifests a blade of light when facing such a creature. So it is that we can speculate that the serpent deity was defeated.
Dude, that
But
armor
the
set
serpent
is sick.
never dies, and so it would return one day to feast upon a demigod
This makes my
who
hair itch.
had ventured deep into Mount Gelmir, seeking power. This is a video about the blasphemy of Praetor Rykard, the demigod child of Radagon and Renala, who would one day be consumed by the immortal serpent.
Damn, that's sick.
Here, at the Church of Vows in Liurnia, the House of the Erd Tree and the Moon were joined. Radagon, champion of gold, and Renala, queen of Caria, were wedded. This ended a war between Liurnia and Leyndell. Eventually, Radagon would abandon Renala, but not before siring 3 children with her. These children were Rani, Radahn, and Rykard. All 3 were born with Radagon's red hair and Renala's aptitude for magic, and all 3 officially became demigod stepchildren when Radagon divorced their mother and married the goddess Marika instead. In truth, however, Renala's children were never demigod stepchildren, they were demigod children, full stop. That's because, secretly, Radagon is Marika. Thus, Rani, Radahn, and Rykard always were born of a god, even though they might not have known it. Their father remarrying with a god conferred some benefits, it seems. For one, Radagon's children would be honored enough to sit equally aside their step-siblings in Leyndell. This is shown during Morgoth's cutscene. The way these thrones are arranged, it's almost as if there was once a council here of sorts. Now, of course, there is no council, and Morgoth spits out their names as he considers all of the demigods to be traitors to the positions of authority they once held.
General Radahn, Praetor Rykard, Luna Princess Rani.
Rykard having the title of Praetor in the days where he sat this throne is an extremely interesting point of discussion. Praetor is a word that has its origins in the city of ancient Rome, where a praetor was a sort of magistrate, someone who exercised authority from a courthouse and its collection of judges.
It seems kind of boring, honestly. Not a fan of this one.
The lands between are ruined, mired in torment and despair. Is there really anything here worth fighting for? Is there anyone worth saving?
Hello? Is somebody there? My name is Irina. I've escaped from Castle Morn, to the south. My good father secreted me out the castle, but decided himself to stay. He says it's his duty. As commander, the servants there have rebelled. Filled with hatred for every one of us. They've since come for every one of the companions I escaped with. They haven't spared a soul. I fear for Father's life. My soul wishes that he escape.
The slaves of Castle Morn are misbegotten. Their very existence is considered to be a punishment. But their only crime was being born outside of grace. So it's no wonder that hatred has fermented in their hearts, inspiring them to finally break free of their masters. The next step in a cycle of revenge that began at Castle Morn long ago.
I see. From Irina. Thank you. I'm in your debt, but I can't leave yet. Even if the castle should fall, as commander, I must remain to ensure the treasured Sword of Morn does not fall into the wrong hands.
Ages ago, a lone champion fought at Castle Morn. His entire clan had been vanquished, but he grafted their swords onto his own and continued to fight. So determined was he to claim his revenge. And so, this became the legendary sword of Castle Morn. It was claimed by the banished knights of Godric, stolen by a misbegotten, and then passed down to you. And with it, the cycle of revenge continues. An eye for an eye.
Fuck those things.
I'm in your debt for keeping the sword from those fallen creatures. I'm no longer bound by duty. Once I've rescued Irina, I will spend my remaining days with her. Irina, how could this be? My daughter deserved better. The fault lies with me. I chose duty over my daughter's safety. And that is how fate has answered. I'll find them. The foul wretches responsible for this. I'll hunt them down and exterminate every last one of them. Rest assured, Irina, it will be done.
You're tarnished. I can see it. And I can also see that you're not after my throat. Then why not purchase a little something? I am Kale, purveyor of fine goods. I am of a nomadic people, selling wares as I travel. The land has been tainted by madness since the shattering of the Elden Ring. It's only tarnished like yourself, who keep things from drying up entirely. Let's say you're a very welcome customer. There are others of my people who yet survive in these lands. If the mood takes you when you meet one, then offer them some trade, won't you? My people, wanderers all have long been spurned by the grace of gold, which is why we cannot settle, but instead are forced into this pitiful, unceasing journey. But thanks to that, things are not so different for us now. I think this makes us kindred spirits of sorts. Your people, the Tarnished, and mine. See that no harm comes to my kin. We have a saying, we wanderers, lament not your solitude. Expect no sympathy, no regard, nothing. But if anyone dares harm us, show them no mercy. That is our code, so to speak. Just the way we are, deeply unforgiving.
Deep within the eyes of the oldest merchants, a secret is hidden. Deeply unforgiving indeed.
But I've done all I can here. I'm thinking of moving elsewhere for a time.
So far, we've spoken of misbegotten, banished knights, tarnished, and merchants. All were spurned by grace in one way or another. You can't go too far without wondering if the Golden Order is to blame for the oceans of anger and despair. When we last met Edgar, he swore revenge upon the misbegotten. But now, all must die, misbegotten or not. And if you defeat Edgar, you will receive a Shabriri grape. It's our proof that his need for revenge no longer divides or distinguishes. Love, revenge, melt it all away in the yellow chaos flame. But there are those who fight against the Tarnished who stalk their own. Yura, the hunter of bloody fingers, will often be at your side. Yura comes from the land of reeds, a place that has long been locked in a miserable civil war, and it's said that the entire nation has succumbed to a blood-soaked madness. It's not too surprising, then, that Yura fights against any blood-crazed Tarnished, whether they serve the Lord of Blood or otherwise. But Yura's true mark is a Drake Knight named Eleonora, located at the Second Church of Marika, where she kills Yura in cold blood. Once, Eleonora had a legacy as a proud knight, but because of her dragon communion, it seems her humanity has slipped away. So, you put that legacy to rest. By now, it should be clear that madness takes many forms.
Hello? Is someone there? My name is Hayata, and I'm journeying in search of the distant light. If I might be so bold as to ask, would you donate any Shabriri grapes in your possession to me?
She looks like Arena, but Arena is dead. Somehow, this Hayata has taken over that body. But for what purpose? She barely even knows herself.
I can feel a distant light in the back of my eyes. It will lead me to my true duty as a finger maiden. You're not like the others who give me grapes, are you? They rest their trembling hands upon me. Howling wordlessly, they gently stroke my eyes. Their frail fingers, emaciated. Yet still, they give me the grapes. But you seem somehow firmer. Now I can feel the distant light once more. That aside, I wonder what Shabriri grapes really are. Delectably tender and sweet, yet searing. What a sight they must be to behold.
Of course, the Shabriri grapes are eyes. Yellow, shriveled, and oozing.
That's not possible. Not all of those people. So those noises I heard were...
She's been eating eyeballs?
Shabriri, the most reviled man in all of history. It all began long ago with the crime of slander. Shabriri came up with a lie, and it was so damaging, so heinous, that his eyes were gouged out as a punishment when that lie was proven to be false. We can't be sure of what was said, but what if Shabriri slandered the nomadic merchants? What if, with a crooked smile, he accused them of the very crime he himself was guilty of, saying that they had fraternized with the Three Fingers and were not to be trusted? This would explain why the nomadic merchants came to be so hated. It is said, after all, that the sickness of the Flame of Frenzy began with Shabriri. And after his eyes were gouged out, the blight of the Flame of Frenzy came to dwell in his empty sockets. Yellow eyes became known as Shabriri grapes, and frenzy started to infect the despairing world, a madness that belongs to those who have lost everything.
Ah, by the way, well, even we had a place to call home once. The Great Caravan, they called it. But it's been lost to us for ages. I've been searching for it as long as I can remember. And with a name like that, you'd hope they kept some fine goods there, eh? I've always preferred my own company to that of other people's. And I don't have any burning questions I wish to ask my ancestors. But there's something I need to know. My roots. I want to know who I am, where I came from, where I'm headed. I hope you can join me at the Great Caravan, in fact. Who knows what wonders there might be to trade?
If Shabriri did indeed slander the merchants,
I think the gypsies,
then he knew exactly what their despair might bring.
Ah, is that you over there? I've gleaned something very important indeed, thanks to you. The reason why it was eyes I had to eat. The distant light is far and frail, so faint it can't be seen by the naked eye. But with everyone's eyes together, it appears. Finally, it all makes sense. I'm certain now. I will be a finger maiden. Could you donate a fingerprint grape to me? They're special grapes which only grow on those who've been clasped by the burnt fingers.
We only know of one other who was clasped in such a manner. His name was Vike, the Dragon Spear. After the war with the ancient dragons, there came the rise of the dragon cultists, who earned the dragon's affection. One of the most beloved was Vike the Dragon Spear, a tarnished descendant from Godfrey, who eventually returned from across the sea to join the Round Table Hold in hopes of becoming Elden Lord. To this end, Vike was assigned a Finger Maiden and acquired the power of 2 great runes. But when he stood before the thorns of the Erd Tree, he realized the truth, that a maiden's true purpose is to burn the thorns for the one who would become Elden Lord. And whether it was born of love or duty, Vike refused to burn his maiden, for the whisperings of Shabriri had told him of another flame. A flame of frenzy hidden deep below the capital that could burn the thorns away. But when Vike returned, his maiden was dead. Did she commit suicide after betraying her purpose, or was Vike captured and punished for his treason? Whatever the case, now Vike's vengeful spirit defends the dead maiden at the Church of Inhibition. while the real Vike kneels imprisoned in an Everjail deep within the Forbidden Lands, clad in armor clasped by 3 burnt fingers. This is all that remains of the contender that was supposed to become Elden Lord.
This is Mike. Yeah, this is fucking sick. Okay, that's fucking sick. Yo, this is fucking badass. What's up, Cables? That was the most badass, like, shit I've ever seen, ever. Holy shit. I got her comment. That's fire. You're an actual legend. I hope everyone enjoyed the unsettling tone we went for to match the horror of this quest line. Bati and I want to make each installment of the series stand apart. Who is this? Miss Poppy? Interesting. I might just stop having my camera on in my videos on YouTube.
Finally, we meet the Tarnished, who would be Lord. Oh my, why the long face? I fear that you were previously acquainted with this vessel. Well, that is most unfortunate, for he is dead. As for his flesh, he gave it to me. Shabriri. I hope you can make your peace with that. You were about to sacrifice something precious, the life of a fair maiden, that you would toss into the fiery forge, only so that you may be Lord. What a horrible thing to ponder. Your ascendancy requires her sacrifice, whether she wishes it or not. But how would the Lord, crowned so, be looked upon? Chosen Tarnished and would-be Lord, dare to tread the path of true rigor. Spare the poor girl, and singe your own flesh in her stead. If you are prepared to show resolve and attain lordship through righteous hardship, then heed the words of I, Shabriri. Chosen, tarnished, and would-be lord, descend into the depths far below the Erdtree capital. Seek audience with the three fingers and the flame of frenzy. If you inherit the flame of frenzy, your flesh will serve as kindling. Burn the Erdtree to the ground and incinerate all that divides and distinguishes. Ah, may chaos take the world. May chaos take the world. Shabriri is chaos incarnate. I cannot die. May chaos take the world.
If you intend to claim the frenzied flame, I ask that you cease. It is not to be meddled with. It is chaos, devouring life and thought unending. However ruined this world has become, however mired in torment and despair, life endures. Births continue. There is
The
beauty
little
in
pots are so cute.
that, is there not? If you would become Lord, do not deny this notion. Please, leave the frenzied flame alone.
And maybe you would have left it alone, were it not for the horrors that you found down there.
Did you see what they did to my ancestors? The whole clan buried alive, sick, maddened, husks of themselves. Have you heard their moans? They're hardly human anymore. They think we worship the three fingers, that we called the maddening sickness down upon them. Well, if that's what they expect from us, then that's what they shall get from us! The world of grace and his people should have been content to see us sink between the cracks, but to have intruded upon our solace, having broken us upon their whims? I'll never forgive any of you. We won't be trading any longer. Wait. What's that? That burn. Your eyes. You've inherited the flame of frenzy. Unknown warrior. Divest yourself of everything.
Bro, what the fuck?
Our three fingers. Throw wide the door. Ah, that's it. The yellow flame of chaos. frenzied flame to melt away the curses, suffering, and despair. And the order die up. Melt away the curses, suffering, despair. And the order die up. May chaos take the world. May chaos take the world.
What the hell? Bro, this is so sick. This is one of the coolest videos I've ever seen. I kind of want to make a madness build now.
Oh, it burns. My eyes, they're melting. Thank you. I have touched them. The words of the three fingers. As your maiden, allow me to divine them. All that there is came from the one great. Then came fractures, and births, and souls. But the greater will made a mistake. Torment, despair, affliction, every sin, every curse, every one born of the mistake. And so, what was borrowed must be returned, melted all away with the yellow chaos flame, until all is one again. Those who gave me grapes howled without words, saying they wished they were never born. Become their lord. Take their torment, despair, their affliction, every sin, every
Bro, madness
curse,
is sick.
and melt it all away. As the Lord of Chaos, no more fractures, no more birth.
Holy shit.
And so it is that an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind.
You have inherited the frenzied flame. A pity. Our accord ends here.
What the fuck? This is so sick. What the hell? That's the ending of Frenzied Flame. That's actually so badass. I wish I saw it myself, but I probably would have never done it. That's supposed to be the Elden Ring?
Lord of frenzied flame. I will seek you as far as you may travel. To deliver you what is yours. destined death.
Thank you for watching. If you want to get early access to more
Oh
videos
my
like this, then you
God!
can consider signing up to my Patreon.
That is
The money from
amazing!
there helped me to invest really heavily
Holy
into this
shit!
episode. For example, the music that you heard during the Kale scene was completely custom made just for this video. It was commissioned from the hugely talented Alex Rowe. I wanted to take the merchant violin that you hear in game and then evolve it into its own soundtrack, and Alex did this great job at creating a song that really elevated the mood of this Prepare to Cry episode. And of course, this episode wouldn't be half as good also without the efforts of Miss Pat1,
no
who
one's
came
hyped.
up with
That's
the visuals
crazy.
and the editing ideas
I
for
gotta
this
join this guy's
episode, and
Discord.
he just inspired so much of the story here. So be sure to give them props in the comments as well. Special thanks also to Sekiro Doobie for showing off Kale's cut questline, which served as inspiration for this episode as well. And thanks in general to all of the modders and the hackers who give us the tools that we need to properly tell the stories of Elden Ring. And again, thank you for watching. I'll try to do a shorter Prepare to Cry episode next time, I think. And I'll see you then. So you've become the Elden Lord, but before you, it was Radagon.
The lore of Elden Ring's dragons. The Elden Ring lore explain. Okay, let's that was amazing. That's gonna be a hard one to top. That was crazy. That was actually fucking crazy. Okay, what else was there?
And before him, it was Godfrey, who items call the first Elden Lord. And yet...
Okay, I'm gonna go piss, and we're gonna watch some more lore. I hope you guys are enjoying it, but if not... I'm gonna make an alt YouTube. I feel like it'll be fun. I want to see if the name is taken though, because if it's not, I'm going to take it. Oh, let me check this out. No one has that name. It's crazy how many good Twitch names people have, and they just don't do shit with it. How do you whisper someone? This user has turned on block whispers from strangers. Damn, I wanted their username. I am going to make an alt Twitch account and a YouTube channel without my face on it to see if we do better. Just for funsies. Okay, wait. Okay, I got my blanket. Lights are down though. Oh. Dude, fuck. This blanket is comfy, but I need to keep it on. Okay. Let's get it. I think this is what I like for my mic. I think that's why it's felt weird, just because it's been high. When it's low, it's a vibe. Okay, the lore of Elden Ring is rotten. This one looks good. Let's do that.
Is one of the deadliest things in the lands between, for it has no real cure, and famously, even the demigods could not stave off its effects. I guess no one told them about preserving boluses. Anyway, what's really interesting about the Scarlet Rot is that it's actually a very old legend, one that predates millennia and all of the horrors found in Caelid. And so, to understand where it all began, we have to go below, to the Lake of Rot, where we can find a few item descriptions that speak of this time. For example, here in the southeastern corner, we can loot a crown of mushrooms that forms this towering headpiece, and it reads, "Long ago, great lords served the Scarlet Rot. Perhaps such fungal bodies served as their crowns." And the rest of this set is made up of the mushroom set, which are considered holy vestments for those enraptured by the Scarlet Rot that root them to the earth. So already we have this hierarchy of mushroom lords that served the Scarlet Rot back then, as well as worshippers who venerated it. And you might think it's strange that these beings might worship or serve a sickness, but the Scarlet Rot is so much more than that, because the Scarlet Rot is no mere disease. No, for proof of that, one only need look at the Crystallian. Crystallian are inorganic beings, and yet they can be afflicted by the rot just like any other. There's even some Crystallians that are infused with rot and can spread it to others as well. Because it's not really just a disease. Instead, the map for the Lake of Rot calls it the divine essence of an outer god, something that was sealed away long ago in this underground world. And if you've been following Elden Ring lore for any length of time, you should be no stranger to the concept of an outer god. They are these indeterminable, abstract beings that impress an order or a will upon the world through their avatars, their servants, and their vessels. And in the case of the Scarlet Rot, its order is one of decay, where beings are put into a progressing state of death, with the intent to achieve this glorious rebirth that will follow that process. The poison armament description tells us this, saying that those who dwell within poison know rot all too well, the death that begets life, that comes to all equally. That is to say, it is the cycle of rebirth put into practice.
There you go.
A great example of this is
this
Michaela's
is what I'm
Halig tree,
talking about.
which might
This
be
is-
completely
this is
dead
the
were
vibe.
it not for the fungal growths that have sprouted upon the tree. And of course we also see this in Caelid, where flowers of the rot are on the very precipice of budding, despite all the decay. Of course, it's debatable whether this type of life is even desirable at all, but you can't argue that it is life, and the agents of the rot god certainly find it desirable, so they do their utmost to spark this sacred cycle of rebirth in others, infecting them with poison and rot, and putting this cycle of rebirth into practice. On that note, there is one extremely curious item that you can find down in the Grand Cloister, and it's called the Scorpion Stinger. This is a dagger that's glistening with scarlet rot, and it's called a ceremonial tool, which I think means that any ceremony that used this dagger would have been a ceremony to stab and infect another being with the scarlet rot. It would have been a ceremony of spreading their treasured affliction to others. But what's really interesting about this dagger is that it's fashioned from a great scorpion's tail, and it's also specifically said to have been crafted from the relic of a sealed outer god. And when you consider that phrasing, it makes you realize that it's saying that this dagger was fashioned from a relic of the rot god, who was also a great scorpion. That's what it sounds like it's saying. Anyway, I mean, many historical relics in our history are often the physical remains of deceased saints or holy persons, so the god of rot might really be, or at least might have manifested as, a great scorpion. So I guess this scorpion stinger is kind of like the eye of the fell god, or the three fingers of frenzy, or the whole winged theme that death has going on. It's a small remaining hint at the visual identity of these ephemeral outer gods that is intended to stimulate the imagination, even if we never truly find out what these outer gods look like. And whatever rot truly is, it and its scarlet rot essence was eventually conquered, or sealed at least. This was done by a legendary figure known as the Blind Swordsman. As the story goes, the Blind Swordsman was favored by a fairy called the Dancer in Blue. The fairy bestowed upon them a flowing curved sword, which was patterned after flowing water, and with this sword the Blind Swordsman sealed away an ancient god, a god that was rot itself. There's quite a bit to unpack in these descriptions. First, who or what was the fairy called the Blue Dancer? Well, I think that the warrior's blue cloth set gives us a clue. It reveals that the blue color of its fabric symbolizes brisk waters, and the cloth doll that represents the Blue Dancer is styled to look just like water. The description goes on to say that just as still waters turn foul, stagnation leads to decay, so warriors must remain ever drifting. It's essentially saying that flowing water is the very antithesis to rot, which thrives in stagnant water. And I think, and this is just speculation, but I think that the Blue Fairy might essentially be a sort of river spirit. If you've ever seen Hayao Miyazaki's Spirited Away, then you might know what type of being I'm talking about. In that movie, just quickly, a stinking sludge monster comes to the bathhouse, where it is eventually revealed that it's actually a river spirit, whose river was bogged down and corrupted by pollution. But once his waters are unblocked, the river spirit is restored. And Elden Ring, by comparison, does also have two legendary rivers called the Shifra and the Ainzel, which just so happened to flow underground next to and around the scarlet rot that was eventually sealed all that time ago. So I don't think that it's a stretch to think that the Blue Fairy might have occupied or might have been a supernatural extension of those underground rivers. I think it's a fun theory, and I think it helps to explain the Blue Fairy's relationship with water and why it might be a natural enemy of the Rot God. So the Blue Fairy gave the blind swordsman a flowing sword, and he fought with the power of flowing water to seal away the Rot God. But what's unclear here is how exactly the Scarlet Rot God was sealed away by the blind swordsman. Did he, sword in hand, battle a great scorpion boss in one-on-one combat and just seal its essence away? Or was their battle more of an abstract one, where the Eternal City dams were built and rivers were rerouted to encircle the rot and contain it underground, or something like that? These details are left to your imagination, but one way or another, the Scarlet Rot God was sealed away, but it was not defeated, and eventually it would return. And this time, it would do so in an Empyrean vessel, corrupting Melania, a demigod, at the very moment of her birth.
Interesting.
Like her brother Mikola, Melania was born an Empyrean. Empyrean meaning she was essentially a valid candidate to replace Queen Marika as a god, and as such it seems she was a ripe candidate for an outer god's meddling. And it's unclear how the Rot God afflicted Melania as soon as she was born, but it did, and that's a shame because Melania's Great Rune does state that it should have been the most sacred Great Rune of them all, were it not for what I assume was the Rot God's meddling. And speaking of Great Runes, in the sister video to this one, we talk about how Mikola was essentially the flip side to Melania in many ways, especially in cut content where the twins were born of an inseparable fate and said to hold the runes of both abundance and decay between them. And to reflect this duality, it seems, Mikola is in this constant state of overflowing abundance, while Melania was in this constant state of overflowing death, essentially. We sort of see this tragedy unfolding in a few statues of Melania, since you can see back then she did actually have all her limbs once upon a time, until the rot continued to take hold, moving her inexorably towards her inevitable death and rebirth as well. And that must have felt inevitable, for it seems like in these early days there were few known ways to ward off the rot. Fire was probably the obvious one, and then there was also the act of consecration, which was used, which is essentially the act of declaring something as sacred, which was done to the weaponry of Melania and her knights, and apparently it helped their armaments, at least, to resist the rot. But their flesh was still susceptible. Melania's knights were therefore called the Clean Rot Knights, and they vowed to fight alongside Melania despite the inevitable, if gradual, putrefaction of their flesh. And it was this fact that made these warriors so fierce, for they had basically already accepted their terrible fate, and so logically they had nothing else to lose in battle. These knights were bestowed the winged sword insignia, given only to those who fought alongside Melania the Severed. Interestingly, this is the only item that gives Melania the title the Severed, and I assume that it's referencing a time where Melania was known for her prowess despite her fragmented body, as it's called in the Japanese. And I guess it's possible that she wasn't yet known as the Blade of Mikola at the time, though that's just my own speculation. At any rate, Melania Blade of Mikola is her most common title, and it's easy to see why she would dedicate herself to her brother so fully. For her brother was so dismayed by her condition that he dedicated himself to finding a treatment for the rot, and this search for a cure
Who the fuck is her brother?
dramatically affected Mikola's worldview. For instance, he was formerly a faithful fundamentalist of the Golden Order, with all the magic to boot, but he would abandon those practices as they could do nothing to treat his sister's accursed rot. Instead, he pursued a path of unalloyed gold, and he crafted for Melania a needle that could be inserted into her flesh, granting relief from the rot and preventing the progression of the rotting sickness. If you're interested in why unalloyed gold was able to do this and work that way, then I'd recommend you check out this video afterwards, which talks at length about Mikola. But we learn about the needle's specific effects in-game when we give it to a character called Millicent, who is also suffering from the Scarlet Rot.
I love Millicent.
Millicent is this great parallel to Melania that teaches us so much about what Melania might have felt or experienced. So Millicent too has lost a limb, and she is also losing her memories, and when we find her, she is unable to even move. But as soon as we give her the needle, she's able to function and fight once more. Therefore, it's fair to assume that similar benefits were conferred upon Melania when her brother gave her the needle. It's also worth noting that the multiple needles that we find in-game, they aren't finished. Even the final version of this needle can only be used in the storm beyond time at Farum Azula, where it allows you to cheat fate, essentially. And that makes sense here, because you're outside of time in this place, so maybe you can prevent these afflictions from the outer gods before they even happen. So perhaps if Mikola had been able to imbue his needle with some time warping capabilities, he could have eventually undone the effects of the rot god entirely, but again, the needle was unfortunately never finished. The needle isn't all that Mikola created with unalloyed gold. He also crafted for his sister a prosthetic arm, leg, helmet and armor of unalloyed gold, which, again, like Millicent, surely allowed her to overcome her one-armed shortcoming and reach for newer heights as a fighter. So Melania's prospects were already looking up, but things didn't end there, for Melania would go on to meet a man who would become her mentor, and he would give her this final, invaluable tool that could be employed against the Scarlet Rot. We see their meeting play out on this image of the prosthesis wearer heirloom, which depicts a scene from a heroic tale. You can even see Melania's prosthetic arm and leg in this image if you look closely, which is why I assume that this meeting took place after Mikola's intervention with all of the unalloyed gold prosthetics. So her mentor was, as you might have guessed, the blind swordsman, the man who first sealed away the rot all those years ago, the very same. And after encountering her mentor and his flowing blade, she gained wings of unparalleled strength. This meeting says a lot about the blind swordsman. He must have known that Melania was basically inhabited by his ancient enemy, and yet he doesn't attempt to kill her here. Instead, he takes her under his wing and teaches her the techniques that he himself once used to curtail the rot in the first place. It's
Wait,
a pretty
what?
wise thing to do, and
That's
perhaps we shouldn't expect any
crazy.
less from someone who was able to defeat an outer god in the first place. So this is why the skill on Melania's blade is called the Waterfowl Dance. This is why Melania recovers health by attacking during her boss fight. By moving relentlessly, like flowing water, the damage of the rot was offset, and Melania was able to achieve unparalleled strength and to maintain her pride. But it was that same pride that she would abandon in her fight with Radahn.
Oh, this is so good.
Radahn was born of Queen Rennala, who was the Queen of Caria, and King Consort Radagon, who was previously a great champion of the Erd Tree. Thus was the Order of the Moon and the Erd Tree conjoined. And while Radahn was a true Carian, and certainly proficient in the art of sorcery, we can see in his character an inclination towards another path, an aspiration to be like Godfrey, for example, who was the first Elden Lord, and also his father Radagon, who would become the second Elden Lord. Caria was, after all, a largely matriarchal society, meaning that power was passed down to the princesses in the family. So perhaps it's no surprise that Radahn was not as motivated by his Carian heritage compared to his sister Rani, for instance. So Radahn's set was decorated with a golden lion that symbolized Godfrey and his beast regent, and it states that from his youngest years, Radahn was naturally captivated by the Lord of the Battlefield. Then his golden helmet was designed with his flaming red hair in mind, which Radahn inherited from his father, drawing attention to the fact that he was fond of the heroic implications of being Radagon's son. Radahn and his knights were fittingly known as the Red Mane, which conflates Radahn's red hair with the mane of Godfrey's lion, and Radahn was even quoted as saying, "I was born a champion's cub, now I am the lord of the battlefield's lion," which borders on being a statement of complete loyalty to Godfrey and the Golden Order, but we'll get to that debate a little bit later. So, naturally, this was a guy who reveled in the art of warfare, and even in his youth as a Carian royal, it seems Radahn was already a renowned general. We can infer this because of a man named Jeren. The Eccentric's armor specifically says that after spending time as a guest of the Carian royals, he became a guest commander for General Radahn. Therefore, Radahn must have still been in close contact with his Carian family, as Jeren met Radahn through these Carian royals, and when they did meet, Jeren and Radahn seemed to immediately share a certain bond, for despite Jeren preferring to have a nomadic existence, he decided to become a guest commander for General Radahn, and then, despite the temporary implication of such a title, Jeren, this restless tumbleweed, as he was called, would become bound by honorable oath, and he and Radahn swore a vow of honorable death to one another, promising that they would die honorably in battle, even if it was death by the other's hand. So it's not stated which battles that Radahn was fighting at the time, nor which war he required a new guest commander for. But then the world is very different at the time, and there's so much of the Lands Between's history that we don't know about. So I guess it's possible that the battles were being fought for distant lands like Limgrave and Caelid. The Limgrave East map does say, after all, that this path here was trod by many a soldier in the past. Maybe Radahn's forces took this path as well? And this was before Caelid was even afflicted with the Scarlet Rot, so things might have looked really different here, although admittedly we do have this shot from this trailer that shows that it still kind of looks a bit like a red hellscape here, with the red sky, and this was technically before the Scarlet Rot took hold. Caelid did still have some culture to boast of though. For example, in the very middle of Caelid, there is, or was, a town of sorcery called Celia, and despite Radahn's relationship with Caria and Briar Lucaria as well, presumably, it was here in Celia that he studied, learning gravitational magics that likely could not be taught anywhere else. He did this, as the story goes, all so he would never have to abandon his beloved but scrawny steed, for gravitational magics could relieve the weight of Radahn and allow his scrawny horse to carry him evermore. Also, in case you don't know, the horse's name is Leonard, according to the data, so that is the name that we're going to use going forward. And what's interesting about Leonard is that he's specifically called out as being scrawny, as if that's the reason why he can't carry Radahn, who is enormous. Shouldn't Radahn's size be the reason why he can't ride his horse? So I think, personally, that Radahn actually didn't become as large as he is for a very long time, and I think there's some good evidence to back that up. For one, his throne in Leyndell is of regular size. Two, his portrait is of a simple grown man, and lastly, we see a brief shot of Radahn fighting in this image where he barely even matches Morgoth in size. So personally, I think that Radahn probably only grew in size when he acquired a great rune. Regardless, at this stage anyway, it's clear that Radahn initially learned gravitational magic for the sake of his horse, but that gravitational skill set would certainly come in handy as the years went on. For one, these gravitational magics were passed on to some of his elite soldiers, like Ogre, who was the longest serving member of the Redmane Knights, who studied techniques to manipulate gravity alongside Radahn. The equipment and the skill sets of the Redmane Knights really were very inspired by Radahn. For example, the surcoat of Radahn's Redmane Knights depicts a red-maned lion raising a sword in the image of Radahn. All of them proved that they were worthy of the Redmane name. even their great shield's design takes that symbolism further, being shaped like a fang and
I
featuring
feel like
the crest of the
Godfrey's
red-maned
army
lion.
is the
And
coolest.
these knights were strong, like Radahn too, with descriptions stating that they were reputed to be masterful warriors, and it was popularly said that the Redmanes knew no weakness. But for all of their prowess in battle, a conflict was coming that no military strength could ward away. And I'm not talking about the Scarlet Rot, I'm talking about the stars. But luckily, for this upcoming conflict, Radahn was able to solicit the help of an extremely knowledgeable teacher. According to the Gravity Well sorcery, Radahn's master was an alabaster lord with skin of stone, and these onyx and alabaster lords were a different race entirely to humans, and were said to have risen to life when a meteor struck long ago. And the meteorite sorcery tells us that the reason they were called lords was in reverential fear of their destructive power. And it seems like Radahn was soliciting their help because a similarly meteoric destructive power was on its way to Celia. So earlier we established that he explicitly did learn gravitational magic so that he could ride his horse, but the collapsing stars sorcery also explicitly says that he learned gravitational techniques so that he could challenge the stars, which I think suggests that there were two distinct periods of learning here for Radahn. Learning for the sake of his horse, and then learning for the sake of keeping Celia safe. And there's also quite a bit of evidence that suggests that Radahn's actions here were in defense. For example, the sword gravestone in Caelid specifically tells us that Radahn held Celia secure. The Star Scourge heirloom tells us that Radahn confronted the falling stars, as if they were the aggressors. Finally, this event was also called the Star Scourge Conflict, suggesting that there was a clash of some kind here, like a back and forth, if you will. So, Radahn seemed to anticipate that this event was coming, but I guess that isn't so strange when you consider that Radahn was of Carian lineage, who were renowned for reading fate in the stars. So I would think that anticipating a starfall would be pretty straightforward for them, and I think it would make sense that Radahn would want to intervene if it was headed for Celia, which is where he learned his magic from in the first place. So Radahn took defensive measures, and I guess you might argue that he even went a bit overboard, for he didn't just defend Celia from the falling stars, he actually sealed the stars' movements completely. So after Radahn challenged the stars, the fate in the night sky was said to be no more, and this manifests quite literally in Rani's questline, for example, where Radahn has to be killed so that the stars can be unfrozen, so that one of them can literally smash into Limgrave and open a path to Nokron. If not for Radahn, I feel like a star would have smashed through Celia instead, and opened a path to Nokron that way all those years ago. The eternal city of Nokron is said, after all, to sleep below Celia, so Radahn really might have intervened here at the very last moment, since a star is released and hits Limgrave as soon as you kill Radahn.
That makes
Though
sense.
I'll admit that it is a bit strange that that star hits Limgrave and not Celia, which he was said to defend. I wonder why. Anyway, there's one more thing I want to talk about here, and it's that you could also make the argument that Radahn might have intervened at Celia and frozen the stars on behalf of the Golden Order. After all, the telescope item description literally says that the fate once writ in the night skies was fettered by the Golden Order, and Radahn was a fanboy of Radagon and Godfrey, who were two proponents of the Golden Order, so it's definitely possible that he did this on the Golden Order's behalf. Personally, though, I think that both things can be true. I think that Radahn was clearly motivated to defend Celia from Starfall, and I think that the Golden Order did stand to benefit from one of its vassals achieving such a feat. Radahn, and most of the demigods at that stage, for that matter, were technically on the side of Marika's Golden Order. So I guess technically Radahn was aligned with the Golden Order and could have fettered the stars on their behalf, technically. But the impression that I get from Radahn is that he has no real loyalty to anyone other than himself and his men. This is my speculation, but I think this because he's not really hated by anyone in the current age or anyone in game. Even his brother Rykard has his picture up on the wall, and Rykard famously hated anything to do with the Golden Order. So while I think Radahn served the intent of the Golden Order, I don't think he was beholden to it, especially not in the later years when the Elden Ring was shattered, because remember this cutscene with Morgott?
Willful traitors. All.
Morgott labels all of the demigods as traitors to the Golden Order, including Radahn, who we do see in a clash with Morgott, suggesting that he might have abandoned his loyalty to Order and marched on Leyndell after the shattering. For Radahn, like his demigod kin, had claimed a great rune, and it's easy to assume that a warmonger like him would have had great ambitions for power, and might have even aspired to become Elden Lord. And it's around this time, when the demigods were clashing, that Malenia enters the picture once more. Because Malenia, Blade of Miquella, was marching towards Caelid, past Godric in Limgrave, and towards Radahn.
Why? Why were they beefing? What's
Honestly,
going?
Godric's nothing more than a jumped-up country bumpkin. Lord? Oh, don't make me laugh. First, he hid himself amongst the womenfolk to flee the capital, then hid from Radahn in that castle. Then he insulted Malenia, lost to her in battle, only to lick her boots rather than die like a man. Ha! Has he no shame, the big girl's blouse?
This dialogue from Kenneth Haight is a great piece of lore as it tells us about this crucial late part of the Shattering War. At this point, Godric had just failed to usurp Leyndell capital and had fled with his tail between his legs to Stormvale. Here, he hid in fear of Radahn, who was a close neighbor in Caelid, and it makes sense that he'd fear Radahn, who was considered by many to be the strongest of the demigods. But while he was hiding here, a different army approached. From the north, not the south, as Godric must have feared. Malenia and her Cleanrot knights were passing Stormvale on their southwards march from the Halig Tree to Caelid. And this event, this passing, is marked at the Leonia Highway sword gravestones, which state, "Nothing will hinder the wings of the Blade of Miquella and the Cleanrot Knights." These gravestones tend to mark points of battle, and Kenneth does state that Godric insulted Malenia and lost to her in battle, so I assume this is where that happened. As to the nature of the insult, well, we have cut dialogue from Godric to help us out here.
There is only one tree, and only its branches, that bathe in true rays of gold. Not the fool-omened king, nor the rank malformed twins.
So Godric considered Miquella and Malenia rank and malformed, so I assume the insult was along those lines, which was not smart on Godric's part. Malenia must have messed him up, but tellingly, she did not kill him. And that's a curious detail, because this was the Shattering War. We're supposed to believe that all of the demigods were fighting for power, but if Malenia was seeking power here and looking for others' great runes to acquire in order to restore the Elden Ring and live up to Miquella or her own Empyrean promise, then you'd think that she would have killed Godric, that she wouldn't have shown him mercy. But instead, she lets him live. So, to me, that suggests that Malenia might not have been on this southward march to take power. Because if she didn't claim Godric's great rune, then she probably wasn't here for Radahn's either. So, why then? Why did Malenia come full force towards Radahn on this southward march? I feel like there are three options. 4 if you count the theory that Malenia might have chased down Radahn in order to get control of the Elden Ring, but as I've just explained, I feel like that's unlikely. Option 2, although it's still unlikely in my opinion, is that Malenia might have sought out Radahn simply for the sake of fighting him. He was, after all, widely considered the mightiest of the demigods, as was Malenia in many cases, so it's not ridiculous to think that both of them might have fought simply for the sake of pitting their strength against one another, but that's a pretty unsatisfactory answer, in my opinion. Option 3, I feel, could be because Melania was looking for her brother. At this point, Miquella could have already been stolen away by Mohg, so perhaps she was simply looking for him. She pretty intentionally makes a beeline towards the south and towards Caelid, and Mohg's palace is essentially underneath Celia and underneath the area where Radahn and Melania fought, so I guess it's possible that Melania had some intel leading her here in a search for Miquella, but again, this is only speculation. But my favorite theory is the fourth one, which is that Melania, and by extension Miquella, may have wanted Radahn dead for the same reason that Rani eventually does, so that the stars could resume their movement, bringing certain fates back into play. And you might be asking, but why would Miquella want the stars to resume their movement? Well, perhaps Miquella's own fate was locked in stasis. We do find a demigod's amber starlight shard in Miquella's hideaway, after all, and I feel like it should be concerning that his fate might have fallen like this. But the best answer, I think, is that Miquella wanted the stars back in motion so that the moon could properly eclipse the sun. This was a ritual that Miquella seemed to believe would revive Godwyn the Golden, his brother, and we talk about this a lot more in this video, and I can definitely see how the stars being in stasis would prevent the moon from eclipsing the sun, so I really like this answer. But I'd love to hear your theories. Surely there's more than just these four options. But in the end, there's only really one answer that I'm confident in, and it's that we can't confidently say for sure why Melania fought Radahn. Not yet, anyway. But whatever the reason, it must have been a good one, because it was during this battle that Melania sacrificed everything.
Ooh.
There is something I must return to Melania. The will.
Wait, hold up. Dude, we have a lot of shit to watch. I'm gonna watch this one next.
Will that was once her own. The dignity. The sense of self. That allowed her to resist the call of the Scarlet Rot. The pride she abandoned. To meet Radahn's measure.
In Elden Ring's story trailers, we see this legendary fight play out. Cleanrot Knights finally arrive with Melania facing off against the Redmane Knights and manage to plunge a ton of spears into Radahn during their clash. You can actually see these spears still sticking out of his back to this day. Then Melania and Radahn appear to be the only two left standing. Melania sacrifices her prosthetic arm to get close to Radahn, grabbing her blade and plunging it into both of them, giving us a close-up view of the two characters. Here, Radahn looks monstrous, which I theorize could again be because he's tainted with the madness of a great rune, though that is just speculation. And we can also see Melania's lips moving here, muttering some final words, or perhaps the incantation for the Scarlet Aeonia, which envelops herself and Radahn, putting an end to their fight. In this video's first chapter, we talked extensively about Melania's battle against the Scarlet Rot within her, but in this moment, she seems to lose that fight, maybe intentionally, and she allows the Scarlet Rot to take hold. Millicent, who is a great parallel to Melania, says that this is when she sacrificed her dignity, her sense of self, her will, and her pride. Melania did all of this just so that she could meet Radahn's measure. Thus did the Scarlet Rot explode outwards, infecting Radahn and the very land itself, as their battle came to a horrific standstill. In the end, neither party was in a state to continue fighting, so technically Melania didn't lose, so she was technically still undefeated. Few survived the Battle of Aeonia, but one who did was the Cleanrot Knight Finlay, who, in an unimaginable act of heroism, carried the slumbering form of Melania all the way back to the Halig Tree. They managed this alone, fending off all manner of foes along the way. But back at the center of Caelid, Melania's scarlet bloom remained. A nearby phantom's dialogue reads, "Sublime, I tell you. the very first flower of Aeonia bloomed on this very spot. Melania, may you blossom into a goddess. In the present day, Caelid features at its center a giant tree that spirals in a similar manner to Melania's first scarlet bloom, so it probably is the same scarlet bloom. As the Phantom says, this was the very first flower of Aeonia, and the beginning of the Scarlet Swamp in this land. And at the very center of that is another curious thing. There's a boss called Commander O'Neill, who carries the Commander's Standard, which reads, "Even after his lord was fled, Commander O'Neill continued to brandish this flag in the devastation of the rot-eaten field of battle, the sole veteran who remembers this battle with pride." And it's hard for me to say exactly whose side O'Neill would have been on. He summons the spirits of exiled soldiers, who themselves have no real affiliation to speak of, though I will say that you can summon one of Millicent's sisters to help you in the fight against O'Neill, which might suggest that he's opposed to the idea of rot and that he might have fought for Radahn, although I feel like you could go both ways on this, because the Commander's Standard says that his lord was fled, and both Melania and Radahn fled this battle. Anyway, when you defeat O'Neill by luring him into the guises of Scarlet Rot because it's funny, he doesn't just drop the Commander's Standard, he also drops an heirloom of the Battle of Aeonia, a broken needle of unalloyed gold that was once buried within Melania's own flesh, repelling her Scarlet Rot until it snapped. A really interesting question here, considering the needle is broken, is whether Melania snapped the needle intentionally when she plunged her blade into herself and Radahn. Perhaps she knew that it would cause the rot within her to flare up worse than ever if the needle was broken, and allow her to defeat Radahn. Millicent does explain that the explosion of rot in her is worse after she takes out the needle, almost as if it's been building up inside them all this time.
I paused to even tell you, but I took out the needle myself. The scarlet rot writhes now, worse than ever.
So it's pretty clear that this is where the final moments of the battle took place, and we even find Cleanrot Knights able to rise outside when you're near, even now. But then, we don't find Radahn anywhere near here. Instead, we find him closer to his former home at Redmane Castle. In a nearby catacomb, the spirits of the war dead actually continue to clash, refusing to surrender, even in death. And outside, Radahn is exactly the same way.
Oh
and
yeah,
while
that shit
witless,
is sick.
he's still alive, even managing to keep the stars in stasis, even now, for he's still in possession of his great rune, which itself started to burn to resist the encroachment of the Scarlet Rot. His feet have rotten off, the spears of Cleanrot Knights remain in his flesh, but he fights on, simply using those spears in his back as arrows to fight off anyone who threatens him, refusing to give up and die in anything but an honorable death.
Bro, Radahn's so sick, so is Melania. Every character in this fucking game is dope.
Are you one for festivals or flowers? To the south, a grand festival to make the stars turn. To the east, the heart and bud of a flower to be. But dare you enter into the heart of the Scarlet Rot?
As the rot takes hold, Caelid becomes a fresh hell, and the land itself becomes a threat. Even the dragons in this place were forced to flee, and they would make a new nest on a plateau that would be dubbed Dragon Barrow, and no one since then has dared to enter it. That said, a few dragons did not make it away unscathed. The dragon Exekis succumbed to the Scarlet Rot, though he did not forget his hatred, and sadly, Grail, the mother of all dragons, who dwarfs them all as well, can be found on death's door surrounded by her children and completely blighted by the Scarlet Rot. Kind of sad. Thanks for the 50k runes though. And in the end, it was Melania's scarlet rot, not really Melania herself, that would eventually drive Radahn's Redmane Knights to defeat. According to their armor, when they were driven to defeat by Melania's scarlet rot, the Redmane Knights burned off the crest on the left breast of their armor to indicate their resolve, stating, "Alas, dear home, I shan't see you again, for our duty is to remain here, a bulwark against the blight." The knights using fire to burn away their own crest in this way is such a great symbol, for fire was their one and only weapon for fighting back against the rot. And interestingly, according to the Armorer's Cookbook, a lot of these tools and techniques to do with fire were passed down by an armorer who served the great General Radahn, as his books contain knowledge of dealing with rot, the application of fire in particular. And so, this flame of the Redmanes clearly became a large part of their identity henceforth. Corpses of rabid wildlife were piled high and burned. Long smouldering walls of flame were built in order to prevent the rot from spreading to neighboring lands. These same walls border their own castles, they burnt down churches, and they even managed to commandeer some flame chariots to help in their fight. They utilized torches, firepots, arrows, everything. And fittingly, Knight Gerran's beloved sword, a flamberge, became the symbol of the castle itself, thanks to the flame-like undulation that gives this sword its difficult-to-pronounce name. And Gerran himself remained at Redmane Castle to regularly host a celebration of war, calling champions from far and wide to deliver death, a death for his friend, who is now festering with rot and crippled by madness, who now only wishes for an honorable way out. Meanwhile, amidst Melania's Aeonian butterflies, pale pests emerge from the swamp of Aeonia. And though they appear to be mere bugs, they're not. These creatures are intelligent, with a quote-unquote keen intellect that allows them to craft uncanny weaponry from sharpened shell. They can incant spells as well, and they can even tame wild beasts. That said, they are ultimately creatures of worship, and Gowry actually calls them witless, which admittedly does contrast with them being described as intelligent in this item description. Regardless, the pests are also called the abandoned children of the goddess and servants of the goddess of rot, who have been forsaken. And it's not hard to see why. Not only was Melania carried far away at the very moment of her bloom when these pests allegedly emerged, but she resents and resists the scarlet rot inside her unless she's pushed to the absolute brink. So, of course, these pests are abandoned in that sense as well. And who wouldn't hate them, honestly? Is there anything more annoying than this bloody attack?
Yeah, that shit is so
pests
annoying.
Persist. They even have a quotable line of dialogue in the Kindred of Rot's exaltation talisman, which reads, "Rot for the Scarlet Goddess. O scarlet blossoms, flourish in distant lands, and return to us, the unwanted children." Which brings us to the phrase, scarlet blossoms. This might not be talking about literal flower buds of the scarlet rot, but instead I think it's talking about actual people. I think it's talking about these 5 sisters. I think these are the scarlet blossoms. They are Pollyanna, Maureen, Amy, Mary, and Millicent.
The girl, Millicent, she is a bud. Green and undeveloped, waiting to flower into magnificence. What a wondrous day that will be. In truth, before her, I'd never seen a bud of such superior quality. She might very well outshine her sisters.
So it seems like these pests, including Gowry perhaps, have a keen interest in cultivating these scarlet blossoms. I'd prefer to talk about Millicent's questline in a future Prepare to Cry episode, so subscribe and turn on notifications, but I will hold off for now. But essentially, Gowry does all of this in anticipation of these daughters becoming Scarlet Valkyries, who he believes might one day serve Melania.
Warrior Within. We're gonna have to post off on the dragons. Demigods. Elden Ring, The Age of the Duskborn. We're going to post Age of the Stars. We've seen this already. I want to watch the one. Is this? I want to watch a video on Millicent. Millicent is the lore of Mikola. Apparently this one's important as well. I want to see the lore of Millicent. Demon Souls, Elden Ring, Prepare to Cry. Yeah, I love these little pots. Where the fuck is Millicent's lore? I don't know. Weird. Interesting.
When she ascends as the goddess of rot. At this point, Melania hadn't been seen for a long while, not since she was carried off to the Halig Tree, and the Halig Tree's location itself was a mystery to many. But there were still those who venerated and worshipped her, and they weren't all pests. Some of them were human, like Malie Marai, the Castellan of the Shaded Castle. Malie wears the Marai mask, which is something only worn by the head of House Marai. It bears the likeness of the first of their line, and it describes this long dual history of the Marai family, who served as both executioners and castellans of the Shaded Castle. So fittingly, their storied sword is the Marai Executioner's Sword, a broad-bladed weapon that would eventually be used against them. For one day, they made the mistake of capturing a bell-bearing hunter named Elima, but Elima, who knew battle skills that allowed him to move objects with his very own will, snatched the sword from the site of his looming execution and overthrew his captors. But it doesn't seem like he wanted to rule over the castle in their stead. Instead, the castle falls into ruin, and when we find him, Elima is just standing and staring at an enormous portrait which is a picture of Melania, who some believe is to blame for the fate of the castle. A nearby phantom laments the state of things and states, House Marai is ruined, just deserts for falling for that severed harpy. No surprise that guilty cretin took the castle and our storied sword. In the outskirts of the castle, you can actually find and fight Malie Marai, the former castellan of the castle who has now been ousted. He wields the ant spur rapier, which is a weapon that evokes the scorpion dagger that we mentioned at the start of the video, as it's also a blade fashioned from a chitinous creature. In this case, it's the spur of a giant ant. Fittingly then, its description reminds us that...
I'm over this shit, honestly. It was good though.
The Jars are kindly folk. The Jars are kindly folk, brought to life by human flesh and blood, which can be stored safely within. We can't be sure why they were created. However, the Erd tree is imprinted upon their wax seals, and there are empty jars at the bases of many minor Erd trees. Perhaps they once transported bodies here for burial? At any rate, their purpose has long been lost since the Shattering. And now they live in fear, for there are those who would pay a high price for the shard of a living jar.
Oh, they're about to cook.
One's choice of armor says a lot about them. Maybe it's the armor of a nameless vagabond, or the armor of one to whom family is everything. For Dialos, this armor was passed down to him, and many expectations came with it.
Ah, hello. You must be new here. Well, just call me Dialos. The honor of one's house holds little import in these lands. By the way, have you met a young woman named Lanya on your travels? She's my servant, but fickle as the wind. Take your eyes off her for but a moment and she's good as gone. If you find her, please be sure to tell me.
Oh, Lanya. It's me, Dialos. Answer me, would you?
Hello, friend. Tell me if you know, would you? The whereabouts of the hidden house of those despicable fiends. The recusants who hunt their fellow tarnished. They laid hands upon my servant Lanya, and I refused to let the insult stand. The tale of House Hoslow is told in blood. I, Dialos, swear to deliver the message.
Lanya was a tarnished servant of House Hoslow, and a companion of Dialos since childhood. So, she might have known better than anyone that Dialos was all talk and no action. The recusants are tarnished who have turned their backs on grace and the Erd Tree. Such blasphemy leads them to hunt fellow tarnished to foil the efforts of those guided by grace. This recusant's name is Henricus, a night killer who would have crushed Dialos, but he makes the mistake of invading you.
Damn. Alexander!
Help me.
Hell yeah!
Hello? Hello? Oh, my stars. I'm so happy to see you. And as you can see, I'm stuck here. Please, can you help me out of this? My thanks. 1,000 thanks. Just give me a good smack from the rear with something nice and big. And I'll pop clean out, I'm sure. Don't dally. There's no need to fret. I'm very well trained. Give it your all, I say. Ouch! A little more gently. Ah! Well played, good sir. Well played. Ah. I thank you. Once again, the pleasure is mine. I am the warrior Jar known as Alexander. Iron Fist Alexander, in fact. I journey to the east, where I intend to further my education in the ways of war. And beyond these lands lie the scarlet, rot-blighted Kaled wilds. And upon their southern edge is Redmane Castle, in which a festival of combat is being held. I'd heard whispers of such festivities before. Doesn't the notion set your breast aflutter? Ah, you came. How delightful. Indeed, I thought I might find you here. By the by, do you know for whom this festival is being held? Well, it is none other than General Radahn himself. To think, I could face a great champion of the Shattering, a demigod in the flesh. Oh, gosh. In truth, I quiver at the thought. Such is his frightful repute. But the fear simply assures me the ordeal is worth undertaking. Be sure to get a good vantage, my friend. I, Iron Fist Alexander, do hereby vow to unflinchingly brave this ordeal.
All right.
General Radahn is cursed ever to wander, eaten from the inside, by Melania's scarlet rot. But his great rune burns to resist the encroachment of the rot. And while he is long since mad, he was once the strongest of the demigods, and perhaps the greatest warrior of all. But in the end, you are the host to this warrior's death. And those beside you are simply summoned to share in your glory.
Ah, hello there. It was a battle marvelously fought. You are well and truly a champion, friend. I, on the other hand, am nothing but a crock. One hit was all it took to crack me, and for my insides to come spilling out. After that, I hid like a coward. And as such, I can hardly stand to face one such as you. The bodies found here are exceedingly fine. Who could expect any less from the very warriors who fought in the Shattering, the greatest of all wars? All right, lads. I'm going to take you on a little journey. You'll all be inside me. From now on, we're all in it together.
Thus our warriors passed from jar to jar, carrying dreams of greatness.
Ah, you again, is it? The recusants sent a lackey. Can you believe they invited me to join them? Now, after what they did? I can scarcely believe it myself. Did they think me a fool? You might be surprised to learn I took them up on the offer. Then I only had to ask. The location of the recusant hideout. It's on Mount Gelmir, found off the old road that leads west from the town of Windmills. That's where they hide. The manor on the peak. Just you wait, wretched recusants. You'll rue the day you insulted my name by laying hands on Lanya. The tale of House Hoslo is told in blood, after all.
Pretty sure he gets folded.
Dialos had an older brother, a stern, self-possessed man named Juno, who inherited the Hoslo legacy instead of Dialos. True to the words of his house, Juno Hoslo walked many roads drenched in blood, yet never had the ego to consider himself a champion. But the casual manner of his achievements made him seem out of reach, and so the younger aspired to be like the older, yearning for the day that he would tell the tale of House Hoslo in blood, knowing full well that it would break his brother's heart.
Help me! I'm stuck! Hello! My thanks in advance. I know you're the man for the job. You know what to do, hmm? Ah! Ouch!
He gets stuck again?
What if I could somehow be made slippery or some such? Ah! Dearie me. I'm oilier than a toad. My thanks. Yes, indeed. I too have a home, though it is one to which I have vowed not to return. So, I thought I might look out from atop the cliff. But as I drew closer and closer, pow, wouldn't you know it? I was perfectly stuck in that blasted hole. I can feel the warriors inside admonishing me for my mawkishness.
And so we learn that just over the cliff is Jarburg, a hidden little village where the Jars can live in peace.
Hello, Cuz. What are you doing here? I didn't think anyone knew about this place. Except us Jars. Ah. Are you going to be the new potentate? Show me your hands. It's just a little test, Cuz. To see if you've got the right stuff. Your skin isn't so smooth, is it? You need slick, slidey hands to be potentate, you know? I'm sorry, cuz. But I don't think you've got what it takes. What a shame.
A potentate is a leader of the jars, who, in this case it seems, is judged worthy by the quality of their hands. Hands grow rough and calloused by war, but most living jars are kindly, and would not value such a ruler. Better, instead, to have a potentate who can take care of them, though this jar ban secretly has the insides of a warrior, so he desires a protector to look up to.
Do you know what a poacher is, cuz? They hunt us, smash us, and then take us away. This village is kept secret, so I think we're safe here. But you should be careful if you ever meet one of them, cuz I hope Uncle Alexander beats them all up first.
Living jar shards are in high demand. In fact, their shards are a crafting material used by the most depraved perfumers who grow desperate to craft their potions and explosives. As such, the perfumers must never be allowed to find their way to Jarburg.
Have you met Uncle Alexander? He used to live here with us, but then he left to be a champion. One day, I'll be just like Uncle Alexander. I miss him, though. I asked to go with him, but he said,
"Oh, mountain of fire! Bake me in your flames!" Ah, good sir. What business might you have in such a place as this? It's hardly more than lukewarm here. I won't be able to temper my body such that it'll never crack again. Perhaps I'll head eastward. There's an old saying I've caught wind of. Above the lofty clouds, the icy giant's peak doth soar. Here lieth the flame of ruin, which ever burning roars. Your timing, though, is impeccable as ever. I've been making just the thing for you on my journey here. Take it. I'm sure it'll suit you to a T.
Eventually, you find your way to the Volcano Manor, home of the recusants.
I am Tanith, the proprietress of this house. An honor to have you. So, tarnished. Have you ever harbored doubts about the burden of grace and the dogmatic ramblings of the Fingers? If you have, why not join the Volcano Manor and fight with us, rise with us, against the Erd Tree?
Tanith calls for champions to join her cause, and she speaks well to the ambitions of the Tarnished. Such validation was impossible for Dialos to resist.
Well, nice to see you again. So you've been invited as well, I see. Then we're comrades in arms henceforth. You watch my back, and I'll watch yours. Yes? I can tell. You're wondering about Lanya. Well, you see, after much internal debate, I've come to realize revenge is not the answer. According to Lady Tanith, I've got the stuff of champions. And champions, ironic as it is, are oft forced to walk a tainted path. It hit me like a bolt from the blue, that my former thoughts were simple naivety. Of course my heart weeps for Lanya. That unfortunate incident was a cruel twist of fate indeed. But succumbing to the pain and sadness caused won't make me a champion, will it? Lanya knows this, I'm certain. Fate has laid hard roads for us both, but such is true of any road trod by champions. I always resented these hands, their pale complexion, a far cry from any warriors, the shame of House Hoslow, but that won't be the case for long. They'll be darkened by grit once I've set out on the path of champions. The tale of House Hoslow is told in blood after all.
Did you read the letter left for you? That is the task the Volcano Manor desires you enact. You will be compensated once the deed is done. Good luck.
That's where you get that armor from.
If you are loath to hunt your own kin, so be it. But you must leave this house at once. This is a war against the Erd Tree. We have no place for the meek, nor the luxury of keeping clean hands.
And so, we come face to face with Juno Hoslow.
Then we're comrades in arms henceforth. You watch my back, and I'll watch yours. Yes?
When Juno Hoslow received an invitation to the Volcano Manor, he discreetly refused. As head of House Hoslow, his hands had been bloodied enough already.
What's the matter? Having trouble nabbing your prey? Do you remember your vow to Tanith? To rise against the Erd Tree? Dare I say your heart was never in it to begin with? You and Dialos both.
Well, aren't you full of beans? No wonder you're covered in muck. Oh, my friend, it's been far too long. I have to say you caught me at a rather low point. But as you see, I've put all that behind me. Left the Volcano Manor, forging my own path now, making my own choices. Even a fool like me can look after some simple jars. Do you pity me? Well, don't. I feel like for the first time in my life, I'm on the straight and narrow.
When Dialos Hoslow finally set aside the expectations of others, he started to listen to himself.
Oh, hello again, cuz. Have you heard? A new potentate's come to the village. I think he said his name was Dialos. He seems a little down in the dumps, but his hands, as smooth as silk. I don't know. I'm a little disappointed, actually. Even though good Sir Dialos has a wonderful suit of armor, he says he isn't a warrior. And since he's a coward, he won't be fighting anymore. His smooth and silky hands feel nice when he pats us. But I wish we had a potentate big and strong like you.
Which brings us to the perfumers, who have had reason to follow you here. The perfumers were once respected healers, who traveled the land in search of flower fields and aromatics so that they might better treat the less fortunate. But after they were drafted onto the battlefields of the Shattering, they were forced to trade their pleasant aromatics for consumable tools of war. So, in Jarburg, they don't see the rare flowers or the peaceful jars. They see a village of crafting materials, ruled by a coward.
Wait, you're a poacher, aren't you? I'll turn my back on duty no more. The tale of House Hoslow is told in blood. In blood!
For years, Dialos had yearned to tell the tale of House Hoslow in blood. All it took was something worth fighting for. Meanwhile, you and Alexander make your way to the mountaintops of the Giants, continuing upon the path of champions.
What the fuck is that? I love the jar helmet. So funny.
Ah, I see you finally made it here yourself. The city hanging in the air is slowly crumbling. What an incredible place we find ourselves. But that aside, you're certainly a force to be reckoned with, eh? Which means I've but one thing to ask of you. I've been longing to fight a warrior as accomplished as you. You are ready then, I take it? Then let us begin.
I
Oh
am
my
the great
gosh.
Jar Warrior. Iron Fist Alexander. Lend me strength, O warriors within. Let us become one champion together.
I folded him. Yeah, that was sick.
As I suspected, victory was impossible. My thanks. It was a marvelous battle. I implore you, take what I bequeath from inside me. All vessels are destined to one day break. But the great Alexander lived as a warrior to his last.
Unlike Dialos, Alexander was brave and threw himself into danger at every turn. But in the end, his armor was not enough for the warrior within.
Oh, Cuz, I'm glad you came. But we're fine now. Dialos fought the poacher, though quite a lot of us got broken. I won't cry, though. I'm a warrior, Jar. A warrior. The tale of House Hoslow is told in blood. That's the kind of warrior I want to be one day, Cuz. Even if I'm scared, I'll still fight to protect everyone.
You. Are the jars? Are they all right? Did I defend them? Then all is well. This fool proved his worth in the end.
And so it is that the coward is capable of the highest heroism.
Wow. Cuz, are these insights from Uncle Alexander? Thank you, Cuz. I'm a warrior, Jar, so I need to be strong. I can really have them, right? I understand. I'll get strong. Strong enough. I deserve to have Uncle's insights. I don't think I'll see you again. When I set out, warriors are supposed to work alone. Goodbye, Cuz. And thanks for everything. I'll never forget you. Cuz.
The jars contain dregs inherited from those who came before. Thus our warriors passed from jar to jar, carrying dreams of greatness. This video wouldn't have been possible without the help of Miss Pap1, a new creator on the scene who has a lot of cinematic talent. Go and check out his channel for more cinematic footage like this. He also plans to make little epilogues for these Prepare to Cry.
Miss Pap 1. All right, I think that's it for today. Lots of lore, lots of vibes. Lots of mixed emotions. Thanks for letting me rant today, guys. That was fun. I think we're caught up on all the lore. We're doing a 24-hour stream tomorrow for the DLC. It's going to be releasing at midnight. So tomorrow night at midnight. So don't know how that's going to work sleep schedule wise, but we'll get it figured out. I want to do a 24-hour stream. So even if you guys are lurking or popping in or, you know, any support helps a lot and means a lot. So, yeah. Yeah. Is anybody here? Everybody AFK? Oh, anything we should plan before tomorrow? Because all I have planned is playing the DLC tomorrow. I'm going to probably just, I got good practice in doing the 10-hour challenge, beating the game in one sitting. That was crazy. So, yeah, I don't know. Does anyone have anything else to add? Hello, chat? Any chatters? Yo, can't wait, broski. It's gonna be a baller. Hell yeah, brother. Did you beat the game yet, Cables? Did you kill Radon and Moog? That's all you have to kill for the DLC. Not yet? Okay, if you need help, let me know. You can summon me. I will help you if you actually want. I that was like the last thing I wanted to do prep wise. Is I'm ready to go for DLC on 2 characters, 3 actually. But I wanted to make sure everyone who wants to play it can and has the chance to. So if you guys want to work on boss fights, we can do that as well. I'm gonna reset. I think I'm really tired after yesterday. It's like, dude, we hit 200 subs, which is insane, like unreal, and I'm so thankful. But that's like why I wanted to do the 10-hour challenge. But like, I am so physically tired from an 11-hour stream into 5 hours of editing. Takes it out of you. But I still got like I'm down to help with boss fights. Like, I actually love doing that. It's like really fun. So I can help out if you need. Hell yeah. Get some rest before the big stream tomorrow. Okay. All right. Okay, we'll keep it short and sweet then. I think everyone else is lurking right now. Kai Sanat did a Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree trailer. Should we watch it? I feel like he's such a talented creator. Let's watch this.
The fallen leaves tell a story of how a tarnished became Elden Lord.
This is so cool.
Daddy beat the game. Daddy beat the game. You missed a lot, honey.
It's Kai. Where are you?
Yo, what? What the hell? Bro, that's crazy. It's gonna be like a special guest or something. Oh. It's Phantom.
Phantom. What happened? Everything's different now. Ever since you've been on the game, A and B, it's over. We've got lives now. We've got families. But it ain't over for you. What do you mean? Even when the Tarnished become Elden Lord, when they reach the age of fracture, it is only the beginning. A war, unseen, is coming. Tyranny is coming. But I have something for you. I forged this for this very moment.
Phantom's killing it. What the hell?
Go. I got this. It was good to see you, Carl.
He just throws the sheath. What the hell? Yeah, that's sick. No way. What the fuck? Dog, what the hell? Okay, that part is kind of interesting. Bro, this is crazy. Oh my god, it's let me solo her.
No. I got this shit. Just give me a second.
Oh, that's actually sick. Doing seppuku. Oh, you got Malekith armor on? Okay, that's kind of sick. That's crazy. That's cool. Good for him. That's super exciting. Man, that's so sick, bro. That's actually so crazy. All right. So they're starting later. 'Cause it comes out Friday in the morning, I believe. Excuse me. Okay. It's time to rest up. And we'll see you guys at the 24-hour banger. I mean, honestly, we could just do a 100-hour marathon as well. I mean, I'm down. Should we send a 24-hour banger or a 100-hour marathon? I'll think about it. All right. Just be safe. Yeah, I will. I will indeed. I'm getting drunk that night for sure. All right, bro. Peace.